And yeah, I mean, for me, Nordschleife was fantastic. We cannot fight, with those cars.
Listen, guys, 3 things happened with Max Verstappen this week that could completely change his future in Formula One. Max Verstappen just had the most dramatic week of his 2026 season, and it involved a crushed dream at the Nürburgring, a secret power meeting that has Mercedes fans going crazy, and a public confession that Red Bull is genuinely struggling. And on top of all that, his biggest rivals are still calling him the most dangerous driver alive. So let's get into it because there is a lot to unpack here. Let's break it down, but before, if you want more updates and news on Max, then hit that like button and subscribe for more breakdowns. The Nürburgring dream that fell apart. So let's start with something that genuinely hurt to watch. Max spent months preparing for the Nürburgring 24 hours. Permit school, warm-up races, everything. He was leading the race comfortably, his team had a gap of over 30 seconds through the night, and everything looked perfect. Then with just 4 hours to go, a drive shaft failure ended it all. Just like that. Gone. A race he'd been chasing for years, and the car simply gave up on him at the worst possible moment. Now here's where it gets interesting because that heartbreak didn't just hurt Max emotionally, it actually changed his entire schedule going forward. Why Max walked away from the NLS season. After that painful exit, the obvious question was whether Max would continue racing in the NLS series for the rest of 2026, and his answer was pretty simple and direct. No, because those races clash with the GT World Challenge, he told media. And when you dig into it, it actually makes complete sense. His core co-drivers, Juncadella, Gunan, Auer, and Lulham, are all committed to the GT World Challenge. So without that group, returning to the NLS just doesn't make sense for him. His only remaining window was August 1st, and even that one is completely blocked. So the Nordschleife chapter for 2026, it's officially closed. But now heading into F1, the real drama is just getting started, and trust me, it's a lot bigger than a missed endurance race. The secret Salzburg meeting that has everyone talking. Hold on, because this one is wild. Right after Monaco, Max's private jet was tracked flying to Salzburg and people immediately started losing their minds. Why? Because sitting across the table from him were Red Bull heir Mark Mateschitz, co-owner Chalerm Uvidja, CEO Oliver Mintzlaff, and Max's own manager Raymond Vermeulen. That is not a casual coffee meeting. That is Red Bull's entire power structure in one room. The media absolutely went crazy, speculating about whether Max was planning to leave, whether Mercedes was involved, whether his contract had secret exit clauses, and when reporters finally pushed Max on it, he fired back in the most Max way possible. It's nobody's business. It was planned anyway. It's not like it just popped up after Monaco. And honestly, that response told us everything and nothing at the same time. Because Max is contracted until 2028, but there are reportedly performance clauses in that deal that could let him walk early, and with Red Bull currently struggling badly, those clauses are suddenly very relevant. Max absolutely destroys Red Bull's 2026 performance. And here's exactly why that Salzburg meeting matters so much, because Max himself called out Red Bull in front of the entire world. After the Barcelona Grand Prix, he didn't sugarcoat anything. We are the 4th fastest team, he said flat out. Not 3rd, 4th, behind Mercedes, Ferrari, and McLaren. And when you look at his Barcelona race, it tells the whole story. He finished P4, but only because both Antonelli and Leclerc had technical failures late in the race. Without those gifts, he was miles behind. He literally said they were losing time in every single section of the track, fast corners, slow corners, everywhere. For a guy who dominated F1 for 4 straight years, this is genuinely shocking to hear him say out loud. Red Bull's emergency plan for Austria. Now, Red Bull isn't just sitting around feeling sorry for themselves, they actually have a plan, and it's coming fast. The core problem with the RB22 is weight. At the start of this season, the car was a massive 12 kilograms over the FIA minimum weight limit, which in F1 terms is absolutely brutal. Engineers calculate roughly 0.3 of a second per lap lost for every 10 kilograms of excess weight. They cut it down to 6 kilograms overweight by Miami, but now technical director Pierre Wache is pushing hard to eliminate those final 6 kilos completely at the Austrian Grand Prix. Team principal Laurent Mekies even joked about it, saying, "I am going to eat less, that's my plan for Austria." But behind the humor, the engineering team is deadly serious. If they hit minimum weight in Austria, Red Bull could unlock almost 2/10 of pure pace without a single aerodynamic change. That's how significant this upgrade is. When legends respect you, you know you're different. And while all this drama is happening around him, the rest of the motorsport world is actually reminding everyone just how special Max Verstappen really is. Oscar Piastri, the same guy fighting Max directly for championships, was asked who the best opponent he's ever faced is. Without hesitation, he said Max, putting him ahead of even Lewis Hamilton. That's a massive statement from someone who knows exactly how hard it is to race against him. And then MotoGP legend Marc Marquez showed up at the Barcelona paddock and went even further, calling Max a beast with an animalistic approach to racing that he sees a part of himself in. Marquez said, "The one I love for his grit, for what he brings to the track, is Max Verstappen. For me, he's a beast." When both your fiercest rival on the grid and the greatest motorcycle racer alive are saying the same thing about you, that's not just a compliment, that's a legacy being written in real time. What happens next? So to wrap it all up, Max walked away from his Nürburgring dream because of a heartbreaking mechanical failure. His co-drivers have scheduling clashes that make a return impossible. Red Bull is currently the 4th fastest team on the grid with a car that's been overweight all season, and a secret meeting in Salzburg has the entire paddock questioning his future. But through all of this, his rivals and legends are still calling him the best on the planet. Now here's what I think Red Bull absolutely needs to nail that Austria upgrade, because if they don't, those performance clauses in Max's contract are going to become a very serious conversation very fast. And here's the question I want to leave you with. If Red Bull can't fix the RB22 by summer, do you think Max actually walks? Drop your answer in the comments. I genuinely want to know what you think.